I rise today to share the story of Ann Haroon from Loveland, Colorado, who wrote to me with regard to her support for comprehensive immigration reform and her own family story. Ann writes that her relatives first came to Canada from France and England, the French in the 1700s, the English a little later. Ann's great-great-grandmother was becalmed in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean for a time, and both sides of her family were farmers in Quebec before wandering into northern New Hampshire in the 1920s. Ann writes, were they legal? Who knows? Ann further writes that the French had large families and soon outgrew their farms. They moved on from New Hampshire. Her mother moved from New Hampshire to Maine in 1942 after the death of her father, and she worked for Maine Blue Cross for 30 years. Ann moved to California after high school and sought an opportunity to attend college, married, had children, joined the League of Women Voters, and finally graduated in 1980 and promptly won election to the Vermont House. Ann was the first in her family to attend college, vote, own a house, and hold public office. There are so many today that would be the first to go to college, that would be the first to vote, that would be the first to own a house, that would be the first to hold public office, that would be the first to be captains of industry, that would be the first to have advanced degrees. If only we can find a way where they have the ability to get right with the law and get paperwork that allows them to pursue the great opportunities that this country offers. As Ann says, were they legal? Who knows? Were they legal? Who cares? When my family came here in 1906, they got off the boat and registered. There was no quota or process or thing they had to deal with on the legal front. They just showed up here. And you know what? They were welcomed. And you know what? Their grandson on one side, great-grandson on the other, is now a United States congressperson. Just as Ann was the first in her family after they wandered down from Canada to New Hampshire. Ann has given so much for her country, just as so many of today's immigrants will if we only give them today's opportunity.